We're back with some more Madden 22 news as EA Sports just dropped their latest blog on their website, and there was a big surprise in there that people weren't expecting. Something really big that people have been asking for, and we're going to get into that in just a second. But if you are new to the channel and you want to stay up to date with all the latest Madden 22 news, especially in a few days when they unveil the entire new scouting system for franchise and the upcoming gameplay that's going to be rolling out as well, make sure to subscribe, turn the bell icon on so you don't miss any of these videos when they go live. So we're going to break down the latest news today, but one of the big surprises is that team play is back. Yes, actual team play, like not inside of Ultimate Team, but regular free-to-play team play is back. Now we're going to get into that a little bit later in the video when we get to that portion, but I just wanted to throw that out there for you guys because I know people have been begging for this to come back, and to be quite honest, it should have never left the game to begin with. I know that they said a lot of people didn't use the feature when they had it back in the day. It was kind of more of just like the very hardcore minority actually used team play, but either way, for the people that want to play it, it still should be there. So glad to see that that's coming back. We're going to get into that, but first, let's break down all of the changes coming to the Yard game mode. So we've already found out about player classes a little bit in some of the previous info, but today they break it down a little bit more. It says here, classes play a huge role in Madden 22. Class progression carries over between the Yard and face of the franchise this year, meaning all of your work you put in on the field in either mode carries over to the other. Along with face of the franchise, the Yard features several exclusive classes. These classes specialize on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball. So the regular player classes for face of the franchise are obviously going to be one side of the ball because in real life, if you're the QB, you're not playing other positions, you're not playing on defense and vice versa. But for the Yard game mode, you have to play on both sides of the ball because it's meant to be like NFL street style backyard football. So when you go over to the Yard, there's going to be extra classes that are just Yard specific that you can equip to your players. So here's a few examples that they unveiled. We've got Mojo, inspired by players like Jalen Ramsey. He excels at the cornerback and the wide receiver position, and you can see some of the skills at the bottom here and some of the abilities and things like that that he can unlock. You've got the Freak, inspired by players like Chase Young and Von Miller, a wrecking ball at outside linebacker and at halfback. You've got Goliath, inspired by players like Travis Kelce and Trent Williams, a versatile class combining the skills of a tight end, offensive lineman, and middle linebacker. You've also got the Hitman, inspired by players like Harrison Smith and Jamal Adams, a deep bombing safety and a quarterback. So again, these are just Yard specific. Face of the franchise has their own class system, and I want to say that that same class system for Face of the franchise is used in the Yard. It's just that the Yard has special ones that specialize for both sides of the ball because it's a more arcade style mode. Now here, with the unified progression, you have class progression in Madden NFL 22, and it's completely unified. There are many classes that are shared between face of the franchise and the Yard. Each of these shared classes can be leveled up in either mode, allowing you to bring your power to wherever you want to play. This shared experience also includes Superstar X Factor abilities. Unlock an ability inside of Face of the franchise, and it can be used in the Yard and vice versa. As you continue to level up your classes, you will earn new abilities through the progression of the class. Level up enough classes, and now you can mix and match Superstar X Factor abilities between classes, creating your own custom builds. Reach max level in multiple classes to begin sharing Superstar X Factor abilities, thus maximizing your power. Each class will unlock skill points to spend inside of each of your skill buckets, which boost specific ratings that make each class play uniquely on the field. Apply these to craft your build that fits your playstyle. So a lot of that is just similar to last year when you can level up different archetypes, you would unlock abilities, and then you could then go equip that ability on other archetypes. It just seems like this year they've expanded it a bit. They've added more abilities you can unlock because the amount of abilities in Madden 21 were a little bit more limited. They didn't have a whole bunch, so it looks like they have a lot more abilities and X Factor that you can unlock, and of course they have different classes, and it just goes a little bit deeper. It's very similar to some of the stuff they were doing in NBA Live between their career mode and their street style mode where it unified everything. So they're kind of slowly getting to where NBA Live was, which was really actually good. They actually did it very well in NBA Live, and they're starting to slowly do that with Madden, and I think as this continues to build out, this can be a lot of fun, but it still definitely has a ways to go. It's year 2, and I think they're making some of the right steps here. Continuing on with the Yard, it's back with a new challenge-based solo or co-op campaign. You can now visit new fields across the world, battle boss characters with unmatched NFL talents, and unlock gear for your avatar. The Yard is divided up into 4 different chapters, each of its own set of venues and games. Defeating a boss at each location will let you unlock the next set of venues. Each venue has its own set of house rules. For example, the defensive theme will award 10 points for a defensive touchdown and 5 points for an interception. Every game has 3 three goals. The first one is simply to win the game. The second is a statistical objective, such as passing for 150 yards. And finally, the third one is an in-game action, like diving into the end zone for a touchdown. So the more you do these objectives, the more points you unlock for your character and things you can upgrade. Kind of pretty self-explanatory. So here are some of the venues, a lot of the same ones from last year, but they've just been redone. They've also added some new ones. So you could see Hawaii right here. We've got the London venue. We've got the Italy venue, the Miami venue. That was a thing last year, but they've just given it a little bit of a facelift. You've got Green Bay. You've got Berlin. You've got the Nike headquarters, which makes a return. Again, a little bit of a facelift to it. And then you have the military base, which was also in last year's game. Player recruitment. New and exclusive to the Yard campaign in Madden 22 is the ability to not only face off against the highest profile superstar bosses from the NFL, but to recruit them to your squad for use in future games. This year, a new option to auto draft is fully up to you in every game. While drafting your team before each game will give you the most control over ensuring squad synergy, now you'll also have the option to just jump straight into the action as quickly as possible. Again, there's another thing they're taking from NBA Live. They had a certain type of mode within their online, park and stuff like that, where you can actually recruit players and like keep them on your team. Like if you would beat them at certain venues, you can then recruit the players you wanted, and then they would just be with you at every venue, which I think that's kind of cool. So if you have a player that you like playing with, you can kind of get him on your team, and no matter where you go through the campaign and stuff like that, he'll always be on your team. Venue rewards. Performing well, winning games, and knocking out certain stat goals will allow you to unlock rewards after each game. From cred to rep to a whole host of unique gear, the campaign will always ensure each win feels sweet. Every venue has exclusive gear set that you can earn after you win each game. Pretty much the same as Madden 21 there. You go through the venues, everything has their own exclusive gear that you can unlock for each venue, and of course you always get cred and rep that can then be put to purchasing things in the mode as you play it. Perfection reward. Perfectionists of the campaign will get a unique set of rewards all their own. At every venue, you can knock out every objective at every game that the spot has to offer. You'll earn an exclusive gear reward that is undeniable proof of your absolute domination at the location. So for some people that just like showing off, right? Like, oh, I got this jersey because I mastered everything. Like, there's the tryhards out. This is for the tryhards out there that just want to say, hey, I'm the best at the mode. I've accomplished everything. That's just something for them to show off. I get it. Makes sense. People like that type of stuff. Lastly, there's live events, which is a huge thing for a mode like this. Again, another area that NBA Live was really, I love doing this when NBA Live 19 was still really rolling. I would get on there just to play the live events in the park. I thought they were tons of fun. It says here, Superstar Clash is the first live event of the year. It features a 5-game gauntlet against Pro Bowl competition. Games are played on the brand new London field. Throughout the year, we will be adding new live events that sync up with real-world NFL events. This will include exciting brand partnerships. Stay tuned. Again, exactly what they did in NBA Live. Now, of course, we all know 2K, much better game than NBA Live. But I would dabble in NBA Live a lot because of their live events. Their live events were fun. I liked their park mode. I liked how they did it. So I would still jump onto that game just to play the live events. And they're bringing that over to Madden, which I think is a good thing because it was an area that they were actually doing really well in with that game. So, of course, they're going to be partnering up with specific brands that have events. They did that a little bit last year. Like, they might partner up with Adidas or, Nike or whatever the case and have special events. So you can see in the picture here with the Jordan attire, clearly there's going to be some Jordan brand partnerships because that stuff wasn't in the game last year. So I think that's pretty cool. If you like the Yard, they definitely are expanding on it, which I was worried they wouldn't do. They're actually expanding on it, and I think one day this mode could really turn into something special, just like the park did for 2K if they keep at it. Lastly here, let's talk about Superstar KO for a second, and we're going to talk about the team play. So Superstar KO is back in Madden 22. You'll be able to play quick games in unique stadiums with icons of football culture. Authentic NFL teams, various stadiums, and rosters will also be available for the first time. NFL teams are now in Superstar KO. One of the big additions to Superstar KO is the ability to play as authentic NFL teams. You'll be able to choose which NFL team you want to play as, which playbook you want to choose for offense and defense, and the option to play 1v1, 2v2, or 3v3. You can also have the ability to use a play a friend feature. These NFL teams will also update with our roster updates throughout the year. If you're playing regular Superstar KO where you're drafting teams and you have the celebrities and stuff, like you've seen the Migos or whatever, they're in the mode sometimes. So the regular Superstar KO where it's just a mix of superstar players and celebrities, it's going to be the Superstar KO rules. One drive to score, most points wins. You have the tug of war mini game tiebreaker for overtime. But if you play with the NFL teams, you're playing under traditional NFL rules in overtime with the ability to play 1v1, 2v2, or 3v3 for a full squads experience. So they have brought team play back to the game. When they originally brought team play back a few years ago, it was only for Ultimate Team. It was MUT Squad, so it was locked behind Ultimate Team, and the problem with that is a lot of people that want to play team play, they want to squad up, they don't want to play Ultimate Team. They want to play with the regular teams. And also the problem with having it only an Ultimate Team meant that you had to have an Ultimate Team to compete, which means you had to either grind the mode or spend money. Not a good idea. Now, they've used Superstar KO to bring back team play, so I'm not sure if it's going to be performed in the Superstar KO venues or if it's going to be in the real stadiums, but it's going to be the real teams, real uniforms, and they're going to be full playbooks, whereas the regular Superstar KO, you know, it's a mixed match of just random people and celebrities and NFL players, and you have limited playbooks based on the base team that you pick. The team play aspect of Superstar KO is going to be just like the regular game, but within Superstar KO. So now for those of you that want team play, it is finally back in the game. I think that is a huge thing. They haven't talked, I would have talked about that on the first day when they were releasing info. Hey, we're bringing regular team play back for the people that want it. That is something that people have been begging for. So I think that's actually a really nice surprise to see that. And of course, with the infinite game type, you play for the longest win streak and compare on the global leaderboard. So with Superstar KO rules, I think when you squad up, you're going to be playing a series of games. So if you keep winning, you keep stringing the win streak together, and that's going to just kind of prove who's the best squad, like who's got the longest win streaks and stuff like that. I guess you can play a regular just one-off game if you want, but you can also play the infinite win streak type where you just keep going and progressing through the mode and earning more through the mode if you keep stacking up wins. So I'm excited to see that coming back. That's a big thing. Next week on the 19th, we're going to hear everything about the scouting system overhaul. So make sure, again, your bell icon is on so you don't miss that video, because that's going to be a big day in a few days. So I'll see you back here then. I will see you guys next time.